like I'm ethical, sustainable, I will charge 60. It is not like that. So those people who are doing this particular thing, they don't know business actually. But this is what I believe, in my opinion. So obviously, because we are, why this problem is happening? If you clearly think about it, that why this problem of cost is happening for sustainability, then is again I'll take a step back. It's basically because we are catching up. We were not doing anything. We didn't knew about sustainability actually. 5, 7, 8 years, 10 years back, people were not talking about this particular ethical, sustainable thing. What happened is, as you know, the technology happened in different countries, as the sustainability happened. So sustainability become a hot topic globally, and because we have a target, global warming target, 1.5 degrees Celsius, then we started to wake up that what is happening in India or South Asia, that we are having a problem. And now, see, this is very complicated. If we already have a system in place, a market which is developed, it is very difficult to put some new thing like sustainability principles in that system. That is why the cost is rising, because they have to put here and there some things for the compliance to go on. That is the problem which I am talking about. Let's say the same example, sir. The steel industry. Now they are facing a big problem because they didn't think that European Union can come up with a carbon border emission mechanism where they cannot take supplies from India or South Asian countries that are emitting more than a set standard. They didn't think of it. Now they are Tata Steel, different Jindal Steel, these kind of companies. Now they are thinking that how we can do it. Obviously they will do it because they have a platform, they can do it. So that is why small companies or medium or the people here which you are talking about, they are very small people. They have a very lower margin actually. That is why if they are making something organically, they want to charge more actually. Companies like Tata, they are not doing this particular thing. They are not charging more for their sustainability kind of products because they know the business. It is basically the small and medium enterprises they are doing it because of the resource constraint, because of the capital or the infrastructure constraints. These are the problems which I am talking about. That this problem of MSME or SME will not go over in one night or even a year. We have the government or the policy makers, they have to do something more for those companies. And then they can stand up, and when they can stand up, they can obviously follow the cost structures. They will not sell sustainability based products at a higher cost. Right?
Okay, thank you. And before we go in for the final observations and comments on this, I would like to get into the questions. Any questions which the students would like to ask on sustainability, digitalization, inclusive growth, etc.? Yeah.
If you have any doubts, students, any question, any curiosity, not even doubts, if you have curiosities, you can ask us.
So as you talk about CBM tax, right? So is it fair for the South Asian countries to put taxes on us? Because as you see that we have not developed our industries as good as the European countries, right? Also, why WTO is not altering these taxes or yeah, that's it.
Yeah, the point is these policies are not only made by European Union actually. These are done by United Nations with European Union. When they set some goals, for example, in 2015, they set goals that if you do this by 2025, 26, then we will abolish this particular thing. let's say India had a net zero goal. Net zero means if you are emitting carbon emissions, let's say 100, we have to replace that particular emission. Let's say by planting more trees or reducing something. That is what is net zero. So now we pushed the target. We pushed that particular target to 2070. So we are saying that in 2070 we will be able to be net zero. In 2070 we don't know what will happen. Right, 45 years down the line. Same goes for these European countries. They have a very strict policy. See, they are, in regulatory terms, they are very strict. For example, if something happens, so this policy regulations were going on for last 2 years. In January 1st, they applied it. So now, when they applied it, it applies to whole of the European Union, basically. So every country that are supplying something or some particular products to European Union, they have to follow this particular thing, because there is no other thing that can happen in this particular rules. So yes, they have to follow this particular thing. India, if they don't want to follow it, they have to think about different avenues to export. Right? Let's say China. Earlier in the inaugural session, people are talking about China plus one, right? So China has their own problems. So different countries are putting their centers in China plus one more country, so that they should not depend on one country. So India is a major exporter to European Union. So we supply a lot of products to them. So we have to mold according to their demands, right? So buyers' demands and the laws and policies in the buying country. So we have to follow their rules, right?
So, yeah, please.
Not a question to Professor Mustafa, but just an answer to what you just asked. We had the Rio meeting in 1992, and a number of principles we developed as a result of that. Principle 12 and Principle 15 are particularly important when we talk about trade. What Principle 12 says is that if two countries are having a trade discord, there should not be trade sanction. They must try to solve it in a mutually amicable manner. So let's say giving India 3 months, 4 months time to sort out the problem, emission or any other challenge. Principle 15 says, okay, if a country is expecting a irreversible damage to their climate environment, they can actually undertake any measure like CR. Now when we look at WTO, actually WTO was established in 95, right? So they are embodying both Principle 12 and Principle 15 in several agreements, and Principle 15 in WTO terms we call it precautionary principle. Now you will imagine, agree with me that the irreversible damage differs from country to country, right? What's irreversible damage for Maldives can't be irreversible damage for Saudi Arabia. So here, European Union, they are defining something in each stage of production in the value chain, what should be the ideal form of emission or some other environmental challenge. It may not strictly apply in the Indian context, but when EU says that there is an irreversible damage involved, the burden of proof lies on our shoulder, right? So that's the challenge here. And I know that I am not giving the answer, and I'm sure from next year onwards in WTO number of disputes will come. Let's see how that can be solved. But technically this is the reason why WTO is not intervening as of now, because irreversible damage cannot be defined. It will vary from country to country, and even in 70s what would have been irreversible damage in European Union, it might differ 2 decades down the line. That's partial answer.
Thank you, Devashida, for helping me out in this thing.
So, see, number one, straight 2 answers to your question. Is it fair? It's unfair. Period. ठीक है, नहीं है. But why WTO cannot control it? Whatever Devashish was trying to tell you through the principles, etc. I think what I would say is when it comes to an NTB, it becomes difficult for WTO to stop. It's an NTB. Right. So that is where WTO is unable to intervene. So, like he said, the burden of proof lies with us. See, unless otherwise you prove it that this is being, I think when he comes and teaches, then he will talk about distortion and this and that. At that time, he will be able to further understand that. But as of now, it's an NTB and no access to the NTB. Right.
Any more question? Yeah.
Good evening, sir. I'm Mali from the Digitalisation. Sir, a question on organic farming. You just mentioned post-independence, India was doing organic farming only, and the introduction of HIV seeds and chemical fertilizers brought a boom in the production, and we were able to be self-sufficient in food sector. But don't you think doing organic farming and seeing the scope of organic farming, if India continues at that scale, India will lose it like advantage of being at higher production, because organic farming comes at a cost of production. Like if you are in normal farming, you produce 10 kg of wheat. In organic farming, you are able to produce only 3 to 4 kgs at the same resources. So don't you think it will bring a food scarcity for a world's highest populated country if we move towards completely organic farming?
Yes, that can definitely put some burden on it. But if you think closely, still India is a big agrarian economy, and organic farming is a new thing or a niche this is developing. Many of the people who are in the villages and doing farming, they don't even if they are doing it organic farming, they don't know that it is organic farming. It is the culture that has been transmitted from over the years. So I don't think so that it will put pressure because I think it is necessary, not a pressure. Why? Because if you see, we are bombarded with products basically, which we don't even require. So we have to think what is important to us as compared to what more and more we can have. So agriculture, it will definitely should apply organic kind of policies into their farming, and it will not that much affect their supply because it is already there. It is not getting affected from it. And also, we are the largest supplier of these kind of things, basically exporters of agricultural products to the world. So I think organic farming is needed, and it will not affect this particular agricultural stock keeping.
Yeah, see, going completely organic, right? As you said, it is, of course. See, this is just like, that is what I said, sustainability at what cost? Alright, see, just to give you a simple example, we replace plastic bottles with glass bottles. Do you think I'm doing right?
Yes.
Right? I'm doing right?
Yes.
But don't you think that I am also contributing a lot to the negative side of sustainability, because the glass manufacturing involves more and more problems than a plastic manufacturing. The workers, their safety, the kind of chemicals which are being used, there are a lot of ill effects. वो तो मुझे नहीं दिखाई दे रहा, मैं तो इधर दिखाई दे रहा है यार, मैं प्लास्टिक बॉटल से भाई ग्लास बॉटल में आ गया, I am sustainable. See, this is the same kind of a thing for you for the organic and inorganic, organic farming and using fertilizers, etc. See, why today we are insisting on this? Mainly because there is an irresponsible use of fertilizers. Right? Why we have introduced the nano urea? Right? The farmers, they were just excessively using the urea and they were just causing more and more problems for us. Also, we are trying to use the fertilizers and try to increase the production of those kind of grains which are less in the nutrient values what it should have. So, it's not that we have to just move away from inorganic to organic completely, like you rightly said that we may get into a scarcity situation. Right? So that is why now what they are trying to look at is the farming has been looked into a complete integrated kind of an aspect wherein the soil test, soil fertility test, etc. Based on that. See, otherwise what we used to do, like I am a farmer in Tamil Nadu, you are a farmer in Andhra, and another person is a farmer in Karnataka. All of us use, there is a prescription. In 1 acre of land, 5 packets of 5 tons of urea, let us say, will be used. for rice production. But do you think that the fertility levels of the land are same across all the states? But we were using it just like that. So now what they are saying is, look at your land, look at the fertility, what is the level, what is required, that alone you use, don't use excess, etc., which is killing the fertility of the land. That is what is being aimed at. Otherwise, see, in isolation, if you go for it and then try to do it, then probably we will be doomed. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Just adding on to what you said, we have seen the case of Sri Lanka wherein they went absolutely to organic farming and had their own set of challenges. That's one thing. And second, you said that sustainability and digitalization go hand in hand. Dr. Rangarajan very rightly mentioned that they have their own challenges of e-waste and so on. And we also are talking about data centers and also digital divide. So digitalization, I believe, have their own set of challenges in terms of sustainability. So if you can just throw more light on that. Thank you.
I said digitalization and sustainability will always go in hand because we cannot afford to be lack in digitalization. See, what happens is when technology comes, it is for all. So you cannot say that. Obviously, it will create e-waste and many data centers will be needed to store the data and so on, like AWS. But how can we survive in a world which is digitally connected? Everyone, especially the young consumers and the young companies, and if our aim is sustainability, or let's say, developing some sustainability kind of innovations or solutions, one of the major tool for doing all the traceability, developing trust with the consumers, it all requires companies to be digitally sound, consumers to be, contributing towards the digitalization more as of now. So obviously this e-waste kind of a thing, I think it is not a big problem. Big problem is not digitalization and e-waste. These kind of problems, they require their own set of regulations and own set of solutions. But it is definitely much required. Digitalization, I don't think how we can survive in a world of sustainability without digitalization.
Just to answer your this thing, Malkari. See, digitalization will be useful in sustainability in so long as the wastage of resources can be minimized. Only up to that. Again, this is just like your economic order quantity part, where there is a cost. There is a trade-off. If the cost is going to be like, see, you talked about the data centers. Now, we said that, okay, the physical servers, etc., are going to cost us more, and then that is going to give a lot of e-waste and all those problems. Then we said, okay, let us go for a cloud server. They have gone in for it. Are we now sustainable? The day when that goes off, so all of us will be doomed. So that is also going to be there. That is where the trade-off has to be looked at. See, I won't blindly say that, okay, all digitalization will lead to sustainability. That digitalization part wherein it helps us in reducing the wastages and conservation of resources, up to that part digitalization may be useful in sustainability. Otherwise, I don't think that it will be useful.
Hello sir. So I'm Yanis. I had a question about the digitalization and the sustainability. So basically companies usually claim that they are sustainable or they are sourcing the materials ethically. Like sometimes they claim that they made this product from 100% recycled plastics, or about the carbon emission targets that you were saying. So I was just curious, like through digitalization, is there a dashboard or a platform where I as a consumer can actually go and see that if it is verified by the government or some place that it is actually what companies are or particular country is claiming to be ethical or like sustainable, is it actually true? So about the digitalization and sustainability.
Yeah, see, as of now, there is no standard such kind of a framework which is available. Right? That is why you have a lot of consultants doing good business. Okay, they create those kind of dashboards, they capture the idea, etc. As far as India is concerned, we do have the standards and the 7 principles or 6 principles of the BRSR reporting by which this is being captured. But that is again restricted to only to the bigger companies which are listed. Right. And definitely, yes, capturing such kind of a data on digital, through the digital platform, etc. The more the consumers are more and more responsible and they are interested in seeing this, definitely there will be pressure on the firm to display this. As of now, what is happening, if you ask me that these people are claiming, oh, we are helping this, we are helping that, that is where we are talking about the greenwashing. Are you trying to do greenwashing and then get the brownie points of the consumers to increase your sales? Right? That is the thing which is happening. Probably like in the G20 it has been already agreed by 2030. I think we are trying to, like your IFRS, etc. We are trying to come out with a standard form of reporting and capturing the data, etc. company-wise. Then at that time probably you may be able to see whether are they really contributing or not. Right?
So in this particular thing, I want to add one point, is that is why a values and belief based model should be there. So if that is there will be no greenwashing. So obviously when some new trend comes up, there will be lots of companies that do this kind of thing, that they say that they are ethical but in actual they are not. So that is why I'm saying that we should try to do more research on how values and beliefs can lead to more ethical organizations, and then those organizations can lead to a big market development based on sustainability.
Yes. Any more question? Last question now.
Good evening, sir. I am Ayush from the batch of 27. My question is, as we know, in South Asia, currently India is the growing economy, and we have seen that sustainability and inclusive growth are two major things that India needs to tackle. One thing being that inclusive growth thing, that we have seen that India is being termed as a middle income trap company, or the incomes are not reaching out to lower levels, as Professor Rangarajan said during the initial, that India is relying on freebies to give it down the market. So how can we make sure that inclusive growth and sustainability is being monitored across the companies, and India can further get to a developed country?
So for this, this alone, in the ESG, we have got the governance part. It's a governance issue. Right, so your environmental and social part of things can be effectively done only when your governance are also good. Currently what is happening is the governance point is weak. Okay. That is why I was initially asking this question, whether they are mutually reinforcing or they are being looked at in isolation. So long and so forth it is being viewed in isolation, this will be a problem. Right? So before we close, final remarks from him, and then after that I will also give the remarks. Okay.
So first I want to conclude that yes, this particular topic, sustainability, for students basically I'm talking about, that we have to think more towards that particular topic, and we try to know how we can contribute to better research, better dialogue basically regarding sustainability. It should not be a fad at a party, right? That okay, sustainability is like that. We have to think closely how it is connected to different supply chains, operations, how it is connected to our digitalization, how it is affecting each and everything that is being done in the industries, so that we should be ready about what we should do in the future. So with that, I'll like to thank you all for listening patiently to us, and We tried best to have a conversation, and we keep on conversation, have a conversation about this also. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Farhan. Just as a closing remark, like sustainability now is being almost debated everywhere, be it a research seminar, conference, or it is in the classroom, or for placements. Everywhere, sustainability has become a magic word. Let us also try to understand some of the realities from a business point of view. Should I get into sustainability? If you ask a businessman, he will say, so long and so forth, it is not contributing to my profit, it is adding to my cost, I won't. Because business is being done for profits. Let us be clear about it. And they are not for charity. So that's only when I find that by doing some of these kind of interventions or activities, when I find that my cost is going up and my bottom line is coming down, naturally I won't be taking it up. So the effort over here should be more about how a business may be able to bring in some of those kind of interventions which can, if not reducing the profit, keep the profit levels at the same or increase it. That is where, from the firm's point of view, when we discuss sustainability, not from a policy maker or in general, etc., we always look at the circularity in the business model. So for you people, what is more important will be not about whether the countries are sustainable or not, what they are doing, climate change, what will be the negative impact of it, etc. A businessman, whether it is a Trump regime or Mr. Modi's regime or whoever it is, they will be doing business. Right? You have companies like Tata, etc. They have seen all the regimes, but still they are doing business. They are growing. So it's not that those kind of some of those kind of intervening policies that matters to a businessman, because so long and so forth the profits, they know how to address it. So from a firm's point of view, what is to be seen is how this circularity can be brought in the value chain. That is how I view sustainability from the firm's point of view. So by reducing some of my processes, if I am going to contribute and it is also going to enhance my profits and it is contributing to my sustainability, I am happy. By reducing some of my processes or by increasing by some of my processes, if the cost is going to go up, my profitability is going to go down, then I am going to get into more of a greenwashing. I will say that okay, मैं जो है कि एक गाँव जो है कि गोद ले लेता हूँ, वहाँ का लोगों का हेल्थ चेकअप करा दिया, my sustainability is over. Right? But I will be doing the same kind of mining. So that is how we need to look at it. Because definitely, whether in the other ways, whether it is impacting or not, an average person, every normal public is getting impacted by not only by the usage of all these things, the long-term effect of it. When today, nowadays, you may see that in the Google News, in whatever electronic gadgets you use, there are so many messages which are coming about how the nanoplastics are getting into us. तो मैंने सोचा फास्ट रखेंगे तो नानो प्लास्टिक नहीं जाएगा. वो कहता है अरे सांस में भी तो आ जाता है अंदर, क्या करूं यार, खाना भी नहीं खाओ, सांस भी नहीं लो, तो ऐसा तो रह नहीं पाएंगे. The only way in that case would be कि त्याग दो, which may not be possible. So I think there are so many thinking. These things are definitely there. It is all our fault because whatever way we have now transferred ourselves from a way of living to some other way of living, etc. That has the ill effects of that. We have to bear that. But that is where it is not only about the responsible firms, it is also about the responsible consumers. I am not talking about responsible public. I am about responsible consumers. Are we responsible consumers in disposing of the waste, in disposing of the products, whatever we use, etc. As a consumer, we need to also think about it. With that, I hope sustainability discussions will remain in the decade to come. Right? So let us go on debating and finding out more and more solutions on how things can be more sustainable so we remain sustainable. Okay, thank you and wish you all the best. Thank you.
I can recommend one article if you want to look at. There is an article by Amartya Sen. It is titled as "Does Business Ethics Make Economic Sense?" What professor is talking about, that sustainability can come with profit also. So you should look about Amartya Sen's article about does business ethics make economic